Right here we're looking at a cripple wall viewed from the side. So here's the upper top plate, the lower top plate, this is the stud, and then these are the joists. Again, look at that from the side. So here's a joist, and here's a joist, and here's a joist. Now what this detail is used for is if this joist is too close to there, so you can't actually reach your hand up in here and put in a framing anchor, an L90 or something. You can't do, just simply your hand won't fit right there. So what they do is they put the plywood up like this, and then they put this 2x6 probably right here. They nail the 2x6 there, and then they put in this framing anchor right here, which connects to the top plate right here. We're going to look at a different way to do this. That's a lot simpler. So what you can do is you can go to this joist right here and make enough room to put your hand there. So what you have to do is you take this joist and you notch it. Let's say you notch it every 16 inches or so, so you can reach your hand up. So just imagine there's a notch. Let's say there's just a notch right here. So you can just reach your hand up and you go ahead and use a palm nailer and you put in your L90 and you're all done. And then you forget about all this nonsense right here. It's completely unnecessary. Now, the building code does say, you're not supposed to notch joists, especially, on the ends like that. But if you look in the code, what it'll tell you is that if you have full dimension 2x8s or 2x10s, which is what we always see, you can span from here to here 24 inches. And if you look at this, that's about what we have. So we have 16 inches from here to here, and then from here to here, we have 8 inches. So, that is 24 inches. So, you could probably just remove this joist. You wouldn't have any trouble at all. So, notching it is code compliant. You won't have any problems with it, and it sure is a whole lot easier. Let's go ahead and look at that detail again. We saw the easiest way where simply you just notch it, and that's all you need to do. However, there's this way that we found in FEMA P-1100, and we're going to compare that with another system. So in this system, what they did is they took a piece of plywood and they put it on the cripple wall, and they didn't nail it. They didn't nail it to the top plates. They just stuck it up there. And then after that, they put this 2x4 or this 2x6 in here, and then they nailed it to the joist. So now this 2x6 or 2x4 is connected to the joist, which we want to restrain from movement. So now this joist is butted up against this piece of plywood, and then they take this piece of steel, it'd be a L90, and then they install it. So these nails are only 1.5 inches long, so you have to put them in 1.5 inches here, and then you would put 1.5 inches here, and you'd only get 1 inch of penetration because this is 1/2 inch. So it's real minimal, the amount of strength you'd get out of that. So, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. You would normally nail the plywood up and then put in this piece of hardware. Anyway, this detail does have a few problems. Now let's go ahead and look and see the other way that's used. And in this method, what's done is the first thing that's done is the plywood and the 2x4 or 2x6 are connected together. So what they've done, you see this nail right here, that's an 8-penny nail, and they simply nailed that to the 2x6, and then they nailed that to the joist. So what would happen when this joist moved, it would transfer to this nail, and those are big nails, 12-penny nails. Then that would go into the 8-penny nail, and then that would in turn go down, cause the plywood to move here at the base here. Now, just to be, really make a good job, make all the connections we can, we'd go ahead and put an 8-penny nail in here, and then we'd put a 12-penny nail in here, and that way any connection that we have between the existing joist and the top plate we'll take advantage of. So what that means is when this end joist moves, that force will transfer to this upper top plate. That'll transfer to this nail, which will then transfer down to the lower top plate, and then through this nail it'll go to the joist, and we'll have a complete load path down to the foundation. So this one is actually a whole lot simpler. It's just nails. You put some nails here, you put some nails here, you put some nails here, and you put some nails here, and with nail guns everything goes so fast. And compared to this this system right here, it's really a lot more difficult. Now, the way this should have been done is they should have put the plywood up and then nailed the plywood to this upper top plate, and then nailed this block to the joist right here, and then made this metal connection. And when they made the metal connection, this one can be 1.5 inches because that's what the L90 is designed for. But this one should have been 2 inches because we need a 1/2 inch through the plywood, and then we need 1 inch into the framing. So this detail here, it's got some problems. And whether or not P-1100 is going to deal with that, I have no idea. But this system here is a whole lot simpler.